So for 2 years, I said no to this. Not once, not twice, probably a dozen times. My friend kept asking, and I kept finding a reason. Usually that reason was I'm too busy or I've got too much going on, maybe later. And today I want to tell you the real reason that I kept saying no. It wasn't actually about being busy. And I also want to tell you exactly what changed my mind, because if you've ever had someone ask you about this or about something else in your life and you've just kind of brushed it off, I think you're going to see yourself in this story. So, hey, everybody, welcome in. I am so glad that you are here, whether you are watching live right now or catching the replay later. I am talking to both of you. You're not missing anything by being here after the fact. But if you are catching the replay, do go ahead and give me a little hashtag replay. Do me a little favor there. I am Deanna Line. I am an independent beauty consultant and the face behind Dream Build Glow, which really just means that I help women find skincare that actually works for them. And the women who are curious, I also talk openly about what it looks like to build a business doing exactly what I do. So drop where you're watching from in the comments. I love knowing who's here in the room tonight. And if there's a friend in your life who's been on the fence about something like this for a while too, tag her. This one's for her too. So tonight it's not really like a business training or anything. It's not a training about products or anything. It's really a story, and it's my story actually, about the 2 years that I spent saying no to this and what it took to finally get me to say yes. And I'm telling the story because I think a lot of people are exactly where I was, not against the idea necessarily, not opposed to it, just stuck on a version of no that isn't really about time or about the reason that they're saying no for. So let's just talk. So first I want to introduce you to someone first, not like for real. She's not here with me, but her name is Olivia. And Olivia is the consultant that I originally bought my skincare from when I was just a customer. She is now my recruiter and my director. And honestly, she's become one of my closest friends. But for 2 years, at least, and I'm not exaggerating when I say 2 years, like we still laugh about this today. For 2 years, Olivia would ask me repeatedly across those 2 years if I wanted to do this with her. And for 2 years, I told her no. My go-to answer was that I was busy and that I had a lot going on in my life, which was true. I did. But if I'm honest with you, looking back now, that wasn't the real reason. The real reason was that I just didn't think that I could do this. I hated the idea, like pure dread, hated the idea of being a salesperson. I hated the idea of being salesy. Totally. If you know me, right, that's not who I am. I still hate that. And I get cringy even at the slightest like inkling of being salesy. So on top of that, right, I didn't know anything about makeup. I was just using their skincare products because I liked how my skin felt. It helps me. I'm sure I've told this story, but it helps me with my acne that I had as a teenager and a young adult. So I just didn't feel like I was a beauty girl. Okay. I wasn't the person that you pictured doing this. So every time Olivia asked me, that quiet voice in my head kept saying, "That's not you." And busy became kind of the easiest thing for me to say out loud. I would love in the comments if you've ever done this, said you were busy when the real answer was something else. Comment no. I just want to see. No judgment. This is a safe space, but just help me feel like I'm not alone. There was also something else underneath all of that too, and I want to name it because I know I'm not the only one who's thought of this or thought like this. I did not want to get roped in or duped, right, by some multi-level marketing pyramid scheme. That was a real fear for me because at the time, and I think still a little bit now today, there's a lot of that happening. So maybe it's one for you too. Maybe it's a fear, a concern, but before I said yes to anything, I actually looked into this, not just took Olivia's word for it, because of course she was saying it's not multi-level marketing and it's different. But I wanted to understand how the money actually worked, and I wanted to understand what the company did and how it was structured for myself. And here's what I found. So a pyramid scheme, right? Your typical kind of multi-level marketing company pays people mainly for recruiting other people in, and they pay that money from that person's commission, right? The money essentially comes from people joining, not any real products getting sold to real customers, or if there is product exchanged, like I said, that recruit's commission also pays the person who recruited them. That's the actual difference between something kind of scammy or even illegal and a legit direct sales company. And Mary Kay is a direct sales company, okay? Not a multi-level marketing company. I earn money because real people, probably some of you that are watching, buy real skincare and makeup that they use, they love, and they reorder. Nobody gets paid because I signed up, and nobody has ever required me to recruit a single person to make money doing this. Recruiting isn't even part of the deal unless you want it to be, okay? My paycheck, my main paycheck comes from the product moving from to actual customers, okay? That's it. Now, of course, if you do recruit and you add some team members underneath you, you get a commission, but that commission isn't paid by that person's sales, okay? Mary Kay actually pays the recruiter out of Mary Kay, like from Mary Kay. Like my check comes from Mary Kay. It doesn't come from my teammate, right? Which I think is something that really stands out, because a lot of companies still today, right, will still pay you out of that person's commission. So Mary Kay has also been a member of the Direct Selling Association for decades. All right. And that means that they follow their code of ethics, which is just real accountability, right? It's not just the company telling you to trust them. So that was the piece that let me kind of actually relax into this a little bit more. I didn't want someone to just reassure me it was fine. I wanted to understand kind of how that all worked for myself. And once I did, that fear kind of subsided a little bit, because I realized that I was more in control of my destiny, I guess, so to speak, than I had originally thought. So comment in the comments, MLM, if this is a question that you've ever had too, like, is Mary Kay a MLM? Or what's the difference between an MLM and direct sales? I promise you're not the only one who has had these thoughts, as just evidenced by that story. So here's the thing about my friend Olivia. She did not give up. And she didn't push either. Let me be clear. Like, she wasn't like texting me every day saying, hey, you want to join? She just kept being patient with me because she saw something in me that I didn't. And I am forever grateful that she did. But she kept telling me bits and pieces about kind of the company and about what this could look like for me. We talked about like real life situations, like what my day-to-day looks like for real, not just like some theoretical concept of a schedule. It was my real day-to-day. And she kind of helped me piece together kind of what it would look like. But the thing that finally hooked me was simple. She presented it as just a way to get the products I was already using at 50% off. That's it. That's the whole pitch that got me, because listen, I'm a savvy shopper. I I learned from my mom. I learned from my grandma. Like, I am a savvy shopper. And so I figured I can't lose with that, right? I'm already buying these products. If becoming a consultant means that I get them at half price, why wouldn't I? So that's genuinely how I started, strictly as a personal use consultant, no inventory, no parties, no pressure. I was just ordering my own products for half off. That was the entire goal. And I want you to really hear that, because I think a lot of you are kind of picturing something much bigger when we think, beauty consultant, and much scarier, right, than what this could actually look like on day one. So here's where the story shifts, right? At some point, I don't remember exactly when, I decided to just share out that I had started this. I told some family and friends, maybe even on social media. I can't remember. Like I said, it's been almost 4 years now that I've been doing this. It's crazy. But I just told some people, mostly out of curiosity about whether anyone would want to try some products too that I had, lying around now. One of my friends actually said yes and wanted to do like a skincare session, wanted me to go over and show her how what these products do and explain it to her, because she wasn't really familiar with like what's a good skincare routine look like, right? So I did that, went over, and we had a little skincare session, and I fell in love with that. Not just the fact that I made some money doing it, although that part was nice too, but with how much fun it actually was to kind of help somebody realize or find something that could work for them in terms of skin and make themselves feel beautiful. Like, that's what we do at the end of the day. I really didn't realize that I was missing something in my life until I started feeling how fulfilling doing this was. And, if you guys know me, I have a day job. I genuinely love that day job. But there's a piece that I don't get there, and that's owning something that's entirely mine, right? Like, I build this. This is mine. I get to do it when I want, how I want. Like, I call the shots. And that just fills a piece of me in a way that nothing else in my life kind of does. So tell me if I'm not the only one. Comment mine in the comments if there's a version of something that's entirely yours that you've kind of been craving already, outside, or if you have something like this already, that's great. Let me know. Comment mine. A few more things that I want to be honest about, because I think that they matter more than the money does. I'm not any less busy than I was when I was telling Olivia no all those years ago for 2 years. That part didn't change. What changed is that I learned how to kind of manage my time around this and work it when I can. I also learned that this is a true opportunity that can just kind of fit into pockets of your time, and you don't have to like readjust your life to fit this in, which is one of the parts I love the most. So I also get recognized for the work I do here regularly. And that's not something that happens much in my day job either. And it kind of matters more than I expected it to. I mean, I can't deny that it's nice to be recognized for the work that you're doing, right? It just feels good. Further, I've made some incredible friends through this. Women I would never have met otherwise, who I now consider some of my closest people, from other consultants who are now, in my unit or, in my area. I've just met so many incredible women, and I've met so many people that are now my customers that are just fantastic humans that I would not probably have not known otherwise. And it's so great. I also love, like I mentioned, how this fits into my life, right? I don't have to force it somehow. It just fits. And I'm genuinely thankful that if life gets heavy for a season, for a month, like whatever that is, whatever that looks like, I can step back from this and just pick it up whenever I'm ready. No penalty, no starting over. It's just there waiting for me, kind of built around my actual life instead of demanding I build my life around it, which is also pretty unique. In fact, I think it'll be 2 years, I think, this like November and December. I stepped away through the entire holiday season just because I had so much going on, and life was just a little bit too crazy. I really did not do anything with this business. And come January, when I was ready to pick it back up again, it was right where I left it. And I'm very thankful that it can kind of ebb and flow as my life does. So if you've been saying no for your own version of 2 years, I want to kind of gently push back on the reason that you're telling yourself. Kind of look at it, be honest with yourself. You don't have to be a salesperson. I'm definitely not one, and I still do this. You don't have to know everything about makeup and skincare going in. I didn't. There's great trainings, and you kind of learn from using the products yourself. You don't need more free time that you don't have right now. Like I said, I'm not less busy than I was before I started this. What actually got me here was the smallest possible yes I could do. Try the products at a discount, see if I even like it. Everything else came later and slower and on my own terms. And that's exactly what the summer pilot program is here for. It's a low barrier entry to try this the same way I did, right? Starting small, no pressure to become anything big overnight. And with summer wrapping up soon, this is genuinely one of the last easy windows to start it before the season closes out. So let me get a little bit more specific, because I think that vague is part of what keeps people stuck. It definitely kept me stuck for 2 years. The summer pilot program means that you try this for the rest of the season, a couple months, not a lifetime commitment. All right. And at the end, you kind of decide what's next. Do you keep going? Do you scale back? Do you step away? All of it's fine. Doesn't matter what option you choose or what the right answer is for you. But getting started is $35. And that gets you a fully branded online store that's live the same day, your welcome materials, current product catalog, access to the tools and support every consultant gets. You get samples of products to either share or use yourself. And here's the part I really want you to hear. You can start earning 30% from day one. All right. Day one, not after some milestone, not after 90 days from your very first sale. Once you become active, okay, which just means that you've hit a certain amount, that goes up to 50. And that certain amount isn't like an outrageous number to hit. A lot of people hit it in a month. It's very, very doable. So if it's a real complete way to start, you can share your link, people order, the product ships straight to them. You don't have to worry about it, and you earn right away from that sale. So no inventory required. I know that's another big fear. Everybody looks at my shelf back there and thinks, oh my gosh, I have to stock an inventory. You don't. That's one of the other great things about Mary Kay. They can ship products right for you, and it's great. So the summer pilot program, you give it the rest of the summer, you see how it feels, and then you decide. The same way kind of I got to decide slowly and on my terms. So I've just said a lot, talked a lot. I want to thank you, number one, for letting me share my story, but I want to open it up. Whatever's on your mind, if you have questions about my story or about the summer pilot program, about any of it, go ahead and drop a comment. I will watch and answer everything I can. And if I don't get to all the questions, I will definitely circle back or comment the responses. So let me just check, because I thought I saw a couple come in as I was rambling on about my story. Yes. Okay. Rachel. Hey, so Rachel asked, did you ever worry you'd feel salesy doing this? That's my biggest hang up. And Rachel, honestly, same. That was my biggest hang up too. And I still don't love the idea of being salesy. What I found is that this doesn't have to look like selling at all. It looks like telling my bestie about a mascara that I'm wearing and her deciding to buy that. It looks like someone asking what I'm using on my skin and just honestly answering her. If that feels salesy to you, I get it. But in practice, it's a lot closer to just talking about something that you're already enthusiastic about. How many times have you kind of bought something from a store and been so excited to tell everybody about it? Like, oh my gosh, look what I got. This is exactly that. But instead of hearing something like, "Hey, that's a great dress," and responding with thanks, I got it at Target. It looks more like, "Wow, your skin looks so amazing," and responding with what you're using and throwing in that you sell it or asking if she wants to try it. Like that's what it is. It's a conversation. But I get it. All right. And Brittany wants to know, how did you find the time with everything else going on in your life? Yeah. So Brittany, I'll be honest with you, I didn't find extra time. I am not any less busy than I was those 2 years that I kept telling Olivia no. What has changed is that I've learned to work in pockets of time that I already had. And I stopped waiting for my schedule to kind of magically open up. Some weeks I do more, some weeks I barely touch this, and that's genuinely fine. It fits into my life instead of having to fit my life around it. Like, for instance, we have my nephew coming this weekend, and so I probably won't do a ton this weekend because I will be spending time with him and with my family. But for instance, today I have an hour, so here I am live. It really just depends, and you can fit it in when you have time during kids' nap time or school pickup line, like whatever your day looks like. And if you want to chat about what your day looks like, I'm happy to do that. Just reach out and we can have a conversation about what it would look like to fit into your life. All right, and Tanya wants to know, what if I start and realize it's just not for me? Then you step back. All right. That's really it. Like I said, started strictly as personal use, no inventory, no pressure, just getting my own products at half off. And that's completely fine. There's a bunch of women who do that in our company. If that had been the whole thing for me forever, that would have been enough. And that's another thing, again, I love that we have women doing this for all different types of reasons during all different types of seasons of life. We have women who do this as their only career, the only thing that they're doing, and invest their time like that. And then we also have women who are here for personal use, like I started out. And then you have people like me who are, part-time but have a full-time job. Like there's just so many different variations of beauty consultant in our company. And as for the seasons, we have retirees who just want something to do. And there are college students on the other end of the spectrum working to earn money for tuition or fun nights out with friends, or their next spring break vacation, right? There's no contract locking you into anything bigger than you want. Okay. You can start small the way I did and then decide how you want to grow it if you want to grow it from there. These are great questions, you guys. I think I got all the ones that are in the chat already. But again, I'll go back through because I know Facebook and YouTube can be a little weird as with not showing stuff. So I'll be sure to go back. If I missed yours, don't worry, I will circle back. But before I let you go, because I do want to be, I like to keep these pretty short. I do this at every one of these, and I want to make sure that you know about it. I have a quick form that I'd love for you to fill out. It takes 2 minutes. It helps me kind of understand what you thought of this. If you have any thoughts, if you're interested in doing it, great. If you're not, great. But just kind of helps me gauge like what people thought of what I talked about tonight. And it helps me figure out like what to provide you guys in terms of content. So what the topics of live should be, what we should talk about, etc. So if you could fill it out, it literally takes like 2 minutes. I'm going to post the link in the comments right now. If you do fill it out, you get entered into our monthly drawing. So really it's a win-win for you. Super easy. Get yourself entered into our giveaway. Our next winner could be you. But thank you again for being here tonight, for letting me get a little more personal than maybe I usually do, for telling my story. And if you've been saying no to something for your own version of 2 years, I hope tonight gave you a reason to just like reconsider and kind of challenge yourself a little bit on the real reason, right? So if you have any questions after this about the summer pilot program or anything I shared tonight, my DMs are always open. You can text, you can message me, reach out anytime, but keep glowing, everybody, and I will see you next time.